It can feel rough being single. You walk down the street and you see a couple holding hands, or you go to a restaurant and in the next booth, there they are, two lovebirds gazing admiringly into one another's eyes. Plus, words like connection, love, and intimacy get used a lot these days. It's almost like rubbing salt in the wound. And if you're someone who values emotional and spiritual depth, it can feel confusing. You want connection, but you don't want to feel pressured. So, how do you build something real, something that's emotionally and spiritually close without crossing boundaries or losing yourself in the process? Hi, I'm Chip. I'm a marriage and family therapist here to help you flourish in relationships and in life. And I've seen a lot of people wrestle with this question. Today, I want to share a few ways you can cultivate real connection before marriage in a way that brings peace, not pressure. Why does this feel so hard? Let's start with the tension most singles feel. You want closeness to be known and loved, but you also want to guard your heart and live out your values. You may be getting a message from the culture that this is fear holding you back, but what if it's actually wisdom? The discernment of your heart that knows you were built for connection, but you also recognize there's a reason for caution. But here's where it gets tricky. Our culture often confuses intimacy with instant chemistry. It says if we feel close, we must be moving fast, or if I'm waiting, I must be missing out. It's almost like if I miss the right freeway exit, I'm going to be stuck on this stupid highway by myself forever. Yet, true connection, the kind that lasts into marriage, that grows through safety, vulnerability, and consistency. It's not about speed, it's about trust. I have to tell you about a conversation I had with Michelle. Now, that's not her real name, but it's a story that many can relate to. Michelle told me, I keep dating guys who move really, really fast emotionally. They say all the right things. They want to talk for hours. They say they've never met anyone like me before. Lots of text and attention. It's so intoxicating. It feels so good. And I'm so overwhelmed. And then they fade. What she was describing is false intimacy. It feels deep because emotions run high, but it's not rooted in commitment or safety. You know what it makes me think of is counterfeit currency. Why does it exist? Well, there's something of value, real money, that people prize, and it requires some measure of discipline to obtain it. So counterfeiters take a shortcut to unlawful profit by printing fake money. It's meant to look and feel like the real thing, but no one, not even the President of the United States, can declare it to be the real thing. And if someone is trying to pass overwhelming attention off as emotional connection, that doesn't make it so, even if you, the authority on your own life, wants it to be. So, what is the real currency? It isn't love bombing someone, it's showing up in real and thoughtful ways regularly. So, I asked Michelle, what would happen if instead of yielding to intensity, you started looking for something else? Consistency. That became her new filter. She started thinking about men who are consistent. What are they like? Where do they spend their time socially? She realized she probably wouldn't find them, or at least not a high number of them, at the places she was visiting. And she started noticing traits that certain men exhibited online. These were kind of warning signs to her now. Because the people who are truly ready for a deeper connection will meet you in the calm, not the chaos. So let's talk about what healthy connection actually looks like while you're dating or single. Emotional honesty. Share your thoughts and feelings at a pace that matches trust. It's okay to say what you want, even if that means taking things slow. That kind of clarity actually deepens respect. Shared vulnerability, not oversharing. You don't have to tell your entire life story on date three. Intimacy grows as you invite the other person into your world little by little, and then they do the same. Boundaries that invite safety. These aren't boundaries you are putting on others. This is a boundary for yourself between the kind of person you want to be and the kind of person you don't. Wise boundaries will set limits on certain things so that you can experience freedom in other areas. For instance, I'm a big believer in saving and investing wisely. That means that you don't spend everything you have. You set a boundary that limits you from consuming everything you make. Well, why would anybody do that? Because you're sowing seeds for a harvest that could be much greater than what you planted in the first place. And so you may experience greater freedom later for the limits you are now willing to impose. And in relationships, boundaries aren't walls, they can be bridges that help both people feel secure. The person you are dating and evaluating should show openness and emotional maturity, not restraint under duress. Here are three boundaries you might set. One, physical boundaries. This could sound like I'm comfortable holding hands and hugging, but I want to wait before being sexually intimate. My hope for you is that you would decide ahead of time your own comfort levels of touch and affection. Ultimately, you have enormous value, and I would want you to have a relationship that fosters mutual respect for one another. Two, emotional boundaries. An example is I want us to get to know each other gradually before sharing deeply personal stories. Now, this one was hard for Michelle. She would get swayed to fall into emotional intimacy. The guy would quickly use words of affection and she would overshare. And it wasn't about codependency. Actually, her desire was to create a secure bond with someone. And that was a good thing. But was it the right someone? This was a difficult thing for her to do when she would get a lot of attention from someone, and then she would lose her ability to maintain emotional balance. When she started slowing things down, she was able to better protect her sense of emotional safety and prevent premature or unhealthy dependency. Three, time boundaries. Many of us have friends that the moment they find a romantic interest, they suddenly go radio silent. We don't see them anymore. It's important to manage how much time is spent together versus maintaining personal priorities and friendships. One thing you could say to your person is, I really like spending time with you, but I need a few evenings each week to recharge or to be with friends. Now, this is designed to encourage healthy individuality and prevent rushing in too soon. You don't need to wait for marriage to start building connection. Practice it now with friends, with family, and in your community. Build accountability. Have people in your life who know your goals and support your growth. These are the muscles that prepare you for the relationships to come. If you can create emotional safety now, you'll bring that strength into your future relationship. So, if you want to build real connection now, don't chase intensity. Pursue honesty and look for those who provide the safety of consistency. Until next time, I'm rooting for you.